Hi, everybody. We're live. We are back and it's a new year. Isn't that awesome? Jean, hello from Mount. I know that's out west someplace. I can't remember where. Jan, good evening. No, it's okay. Don't worry about not being able to see everything. We will have the film left here. And there's Linda, my Michigander buddy, and Al Ballard is here from Texas. Happy New Year. Linda Ryers is here from Illinois, just almost well south of us. And Linda, my friend from New York, is here. Joyce is here from Mesa. Happy New Year to you as well, Joyce. Lindia, there we go, from Utah. It's moving, so I'm not seeing everything real great. Lynn is here, and so Francis is here from Rancho Cucamonga. Wow, cool. Mount Vernon, Washington, Jean. That's it. That's the place. You got it right. Hi, Jerry's down in Illinois, and Cynthia's here from Minnesota. Helen from Atlanta. Jackie from Puyallup, Washington. Puyallup, Washington. That's a new one on me. I have a hard time saying that. Pam's here again from Maine. Deborah is coming from a snowy Virginia. I saw that it was snowing out there. You guys don't get that very often. Nancy, good morning. Oh, and there's my Nancy from up the road a little bit. She's my partner in crime. They call her Lucy and me Ethel most of the time. Charlotte's here from Massachusetts, Sue from Texas, and Lee, I knew you were going to be here from Indiana. Guess what? I saw just a few minutes ago, we got a weather warning. It's cold. We know that. We didn't need anybody to tell us that. Diane's down in Queensland, and I'm sure she's not cold because it's summer down there. And Charlene from Colorado. It is so good to have you guys here. Patty's here from Illinois. And Lisa, yeah, it is cold. Hi, Regina, my friend, North Georgia mountains. Well, hello. I've got a dog here who wants some attention. You're expecting snow in Dallas Thursday and Friday. Wow, that's really something. I've got relatives down there. I'm going to have to make sure that they're going to be okay. Hi, Kate from Florida. So I just wanted to touch base Oh, hi. That is Kim is here. And Lori is here from Connecticut. So Lori's here from Connecticut, and Deborah's here for 4 inches of snow. Kim from Chatterbox Quilts, Kim Jameson Hurst. So nice to have you here. Um, this is something new we're going to start tonight. Usually don't get to see my face. I'm not going to grace you with that every week because you'll quit watching. I fully understand. Fully do. Carla, nice to see you again from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So, what we're going to be doing with our Monday nights is going to be a new thing. And we are going to take the embroidery and we are going to make the designs for the embroidery with rulers. Okay, so they won't be exactly the same, but they're going to be really good facsimiles thereof. I might take a little bit of artistic license with them. So, so let's go ahead and I'm going to switch over cameras here and we will get going. Okay, there, that's a lot more pleasant to look at. Oh, Terry finished her poinsettia panel. Wonderful. Okay, thank you. It's kind of growing out right now. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna give you I'm gonna show you this is the embroidery. So what I will do is each week I will stitch out the design from the embroidery. Okay, and this is going to be from the embroidery edge to edge. The edge to edge designs are made in three different ways. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this over. The first 10 designs that we're going to be doing are inspired by the Westerly Design Starter Sampler. Okay. And so these all can be made with our sampler set, our starter sampler set. And tonight we're going to take a look at the very first one is going to be 1A. And if you see, I'm going to be actually using this numbering system here. So it will be SS1. So if you have the lookbook, you can follow along with us. You can get just the lookbook. It is a really great resource for coming up with ideas while we're working with different patterns and things. So tonight we're going to do SS1. If you have the embroidery, you'll see that's available in 4 different sizes with or without a connector. Okay. And we are going to use the edge to edge template set to tie the motifs together. Okay. Janice, hi, so good to see you. Well, Terry, my goodness, how wonderful to see you. Terry and I were not just growing children growing up in the same neighborhood. We were also high school friends and still are friends. And she lives down in Illinois now. I still live at home. I literally. So nice to see you, darling. Okay, so we are going to come and we are going to use our Edge to Edge template set. And what we're going to use those for will be to connect the motifs as we move along. Okay, so we're going to start with the SS1 tonight, and I'm going to show you how I go about coming up with the design. Okay, this is really slippery because it's all laminated. Okay, so here is the stitch out on the embroidery. And here is the stitch out that I did after I broke in the embroidery and brought it to the fabric. Okay, what you're going to notice is a couple of things. One thing you're going to notice is my leaves here or my petals aren't quite as plump as the embroidered version of them. Okay. Now, I do want to do some more experimenting because the way I came up um, with those petals was to actually took my templates out and decided which one gave me the best fit with my 1/4 inch foot. Okay. So I did a lot of playing around with them. But what I did was I played around with them as I always do on paper first. So what I did was I came up with my stitching plan. I came up with how I was going to get from one motif to another, right here and right here. I also figured out where these motifs were placed. So what I like to do in order to figure that part out is I just make a crosshair. And then I make a crosshair in here. And what I did was I measured how far out and how far up. So the first one, which is this largest one, was 1/4 of an inch up from the center horizontal line and 2 3/4 inches from the outside to the inside. So what I did, because this is a 6 by 10, I believe it's a 6 by 10 design. Yes, it is. It's a 6 by 10 design. So I have my outside area at 6 by 10, which I had written down right here. And that's how I drew the size out. Okay. So are you following me so far? Hi, Patricia. Good to see you from Minnesota. I hope you're not as cold as we are. So far, just to kind of go over this again, I use the 6 by 10 design. I stitched it out from the embroidery machine, put a vertical and a horizontal crosshair in there so I would have them centered. I measured how far up from my horizontal crosshair and how far in from my edge this particular motif centered out at. Thank you, Kay. Thank you. I like to make sure that everybody understands because not everybody learns the same way. And then what I did was I drew that out. And I'm going to get this out of the way. I put a dot here. And then I went ahead and I again measured out, and here's the one we're going to work on tonight. Here is my 1/4 inch from the horizontal center, and it says 2.5 here, 2 3/4 here. Either way, it's going to work out just fine. And that's where I now have my crosshair for my first motif, which is right here. Then I measured up here, and let's see what that measurement came to. 1.5 inches from the top and 1 5/8 inches to the left of the vertical center. So that's going to be the center for this flower right here. I'll call them flowers because that's what they look like. And then the bottom one came 1 1/4 inches from the left side, and it came 1.5 inches up from the bottom. And so there's the center for the third one. Okay, that's the really easy part. All right. I know you don't want to hear, Mary, what are you doing in Arizona? Oh, you lucky girl, because it's cold here. It's really cold. Oh, maybe I'll need to come out and visit you. I have a few people who would probably put me up if I did show up out there. Okay, Tiffy is, can you tell Ken's not here tonight? He's actually at a city council meeting. Okay, so the next thing that we want to look at is what do we need to build these off of, these three motifs? And quite honestly, they're all done the same way, an 8-inch crosshair or an 8-point crosshair. I'm sorry, not an 8-inch, an 8-point crosshair. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get this out of the way for right now, is I'm going to come, and my first flower is pretty straightforward. So I've got a vertical and horizontal mark here. I'm going to use, let me turn this right side up here. I'm going to use my 16-point crosshair because it's a really good size. This is the one that came with our Starry Night. And I'm hoping someday that we're going to get them in 12-inch size. I just would love to have that. So I've already got my 4 points. I'm just gonna need to put 4 more. So I'm going to do my 45-degree lines. And if anybody tells you math isn't important, like any children or anything that you have hanging around, tell them, yeah, it is. If you ever decide to become a quilter, you're going to have to know math really well. Right, girls? We all know that. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get them close, if not right into the center, because some of these are kind of small and I want to be able to line them up on every plane that I'm working on. One marker, okay. And oh, and I do welcome you back. It's so good to have you. Oh, you know what? Thank you. I missed you guys too. And let me tell you, it was kind of like, you know how when the kids are out of school and they've been out too long and they roam around the house telling you, I'm bored, I'm bored. Well, yeah, I kind of got that way. I wanted to be here working with you guys, but Ken found things to keep me busy. Yeah, I actually had to clean and do laundry and things like that. Um, 12-inch wound would be awesome. Yes, yes, you're right, Nancy. The 12-inch 16 point, yeah, would be perfect. Hi, Carol. How's things down in North Carolina tonight? Now, Teresa asked what kind of pen I'm using. And really, what it is, it's like a chalk, it's like a mechanical pencil with compressed chalk. Okay. This does not iron off like our Ultimate Pounds powder does. The reason that I like to use this, and it does come off really quite easily, just with a plain old white eraser like this. And I'll just show you how easily it comes off. But the reason that I like to use this when I'm showing you guys how I'm working here is because it makes a dark enough line that you can see it and it doesn't get brushed off like the Ultimate Pounce powder does when we use that in our chalk liner. Okay. Hi, Kelly. Another gal is in Arizona. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Cynthia, thank you for letting me know that because Ken's usually here and he keeps me honest, but there I will keep everything up here as I'm working on it, and I will be moving the camera when I go over to my sewing machine here. So here is my second. That's the center for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my 16-point crosshair ruler on here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip it just a little bit, okay? I'm not going to make it vertical and horizontal on the block. I'm going to just tip it a little bit. I've got my little point there that I drew in the center. Here is going to be my vertical. Even though it's on an angle, it's still going to be my vertical. And here is going to be my horizontal line. And then I am going to use, okay, where am I going here? There we go. And I need to get one more here. Let me see what I've done here. Oh, I forgot those two. All right. We can get those all worked out. Okay. We'll have one coming up here, one there, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, and one, two. I may have too many lines now. Yep, that's okay. because we're going to go and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these together as well. So we're going to go here. We're going to go here. Okay, so here is my vertical, here is my horizontal. All right. Now I'm going to do my 45-degree lines, which again, now these are off center, so don't let that throw you. There's still those lines. They're still 45 degrees because what they are is they're 45 degrees from my vertical and from my horizontal. So there we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's exactly what we want. We're going to do the same with the third dot down here. I'm going to do that really, really quick. And I think I've got a smaller, yeah, I do have a smaller 8-point here. And again, now what you're going to see is that this could be considered horizontal and this vertical, or these are vertical and horizontal here, but we're just going to switch out the size of the petals we're going to do. So here we go. This one's a little easier. Oops, I missed one there. And come across here. And that one belongs up here. So we're going to erase that. We don't want to get messed up with that one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I again am going to, I normally don't complete all of these lines because normally our templates are large enough that we don't have to. Okay. But with these smaller petals that I'm making on this, I just felt it made it a little easier to see. Now, we're going to take away this line and we're going to take away this line because you know what? We don't need it. And I really don't like to confuse myself with unnecessary lines because you all know I get confused easy enough as it is as I get older. Terry, you're not getting older, just me. Nancy says, back off a bit. Okay, Nancy. Okay, now we all get to see that. Does it wash out? Lee asked. You know, that's a really good question, Lee. I don't know the answer to that, but I will see if I can find that and post it somewhere on my page. Okay. Okay, so we have got everything ready to start stitching. So I'm going to go ahead and make the adjustment on the camera. This one I absolutely know where it needs to be because I've done this a time or two. So there we go. And now I'm going to turn you over this way. Oh, you get to see my dirty desk. Oh, it's such a mess right now, guys. It really is. And we're going to come here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and bring you back up just a hair here. There we go. Now, make sure that we're all set. And it looks like we are. Nancy says it's so much easier if you draw it out first. You know what, Nancy? You're absolutely positively right. If I had not drawn this out first, I never would have figured out how to take these templates, where to put them, and how to stitch them out. I just wouldn't. Now, I'm going to take the one that I've already stitched. Okay. And let me find my cheat sheet here because I've got notes. And yes, I do make these notes. And I do use these notes. And what I do with the notes is I put them into the file folder that I keep the templates in. And when I have small pieces of fabric that I've stitched it out, I put those in the file folder too. It's really very helpful. So here's what I do to make these notes. And we won't go through this every single time. Um, what we are doing is I'm kind of taking a little bit of time tonight to explain the process so that you kind of can follow me without me having to do this full explanation each time, because we all know we want to be stitching, right? Carol, welcome. Actually, Carol, this is not a featherweight. What this is, it's a Singer 301. It's a 1950s vintage machine that used to belong to my husband. Yeah, that's funny. He had to go buy another one because I fell in love with this. This is the best ever ruler work machine that I have, and it is wonderful. The reason I don't use the featherweight is twofold. First, Carol, it's one of the reasons is because it puts the throat is so short that most of our templates don't really fit in there very well. That's the one reason. The other and more important reason is actually because you cannot drop the feed dogs on a featherweight. You have to put a plate over them. And while it works, it doesn't lay flat enough to work real well. And sometimes what happens is your templates will rock on that plate. So it's so much better than that. Okay, how do we figure out measurements if we do not embroider it out? You know what? That's a really good question. And what I would answer you on that, Regina, is take a look at the space you want this to be in. Okay? Do you want this to be closely stitched, a tight stitching pattern, or do you want it to be larger? Do you want it to be more open? So draw it out on a piece of paper and take that piece of paper. What I find works really well is you can actually just make a photocopy of it and then set it down on your project and see what way you think is going to work better with the larger or the smaller. Um, you know, these I actually measured off of this, which is the embroidered. Okay. I measured out. Where did my little ruler go now? I've lost my little ruler. I don't want to do that. So what I measured out is this is 6 inches from edge to edge. Okay. I want my 6-inch rows. And I really need to do a video on that. How do we go from edge to edge, right? How do we keep everything going in one line? And then do we flip the next line over so that it fits in nicely? And that's a whole class in and of itself. Okay, Kim, definitely use your 301. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to love it, actually. Hi, Julie. Julie's her hometown girl. Dee Dee, I didn't see you sneak in here. Linda puts her notes and samples with her ruler feet pouches. I see those pouches you guys have, and I am so jealous. I wish I had time to make some. Um, Definitely. Now, if you have a 301 and you want to use it for ruler work, you will need a slant shank foot, ruler foot. And So Steady does make a slant shank ruler foot for the 301s, which I'm thrilled about. Absolutely thrilled. Okay, so back to I'm all over the place, aren't I? Okay, so here is my 6-inch span, Regina. And I have to decide how much do I want to fill that 6-inch span up. Well, I decided I want to leave a little bit like this because when I come back, I think I'm going to come back and I'm going to nest these designs. And having this little open space here is going to make it a perfect nesting pattern for me. Okay, now let me do this. Okay, guys, I'm going to whack up this sample. I really am. Okay. So we're going to pretend this is all in one place, but I'm going to chop this up so you see what exactly I mean when I talk about nesting. Now, I know some of you have long arms and you understand what we're talking about when we talk about nesting. But if I didn't have a long arm, I would not know what that meant. And this is what it means. Okay? I'll make sure you can see this good. I'm going to bring this camera back up so you can see it from the top, where it's really going to make the most sense. Okay. I hope I didn't make anybody ill with all that chatter coming up. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. I would have one row going in this direction. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the pattern over and have one row coming in this direction. And this big flower is going to fit nicely right. It's going to tuck right in there. So this is what I mean when I talk about nesting the patterns. Okay. It does not look like they're done in rows. It looks like they just keep flowing all the way through. So good to see you. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are enjoying summer down there. I wish it was here. It's cold here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about nesting. So then you would have another one coming up here. And that just helps fill everything in and it keeps everything going in the same direction. So, Regina, this is how I made a decision how big mine were going to be. Mine are not the same size as this embroidered. Mine are a little bit larger because I wanted to do a good job filling up this space. I didn't want a whole lot of leftover space. Okay, does that answer that question? Lee, I like the nesting too. I think that what it does is it gives it a real polished look to it. Okay, so let's get back here to our notes. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do that before I lower the camera again. So to make these petals, I used a 6-inch spiral from the center to the outside. And what I did was I marked reference lines on how long I wanted my petals to be. Okay, so the vertical and horizontal crosshairs, I put a little mark You can see that right here, 2.5 inches from the center. Those are the odd numbered reference lines. Now remember, I do like to go in odd and even numbered whenever possible. It just makes sense. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So all of my odd and numbered lines, 1, 3, 5, 7, are marked at 2.5 inches. And that's as far out as I'm going to bring my petals. Now my even numbered, I only went 1 3/4 inches. I could have gone 2 inches. I could have gone 1.5. This is a very personal decision. Remember, we're not going to make an absolute copy of the embroidery simply because they are using software that makes things larger and smaller. We don't have that luxury when we're doing it with our templates. It's going to work out, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be close, but it's not going to be exactly the same. And in a couple weeks, you're really going to see that because there's 136 spinning wheel that's only about this big, and we know we don't have one that small. Okay, so just to reiterate, 2.5 inches here, 1 3/4 inches here. I used the 6-inch spiral. I came from the center, and you can see that I've got my sewing directions here. I went out and back in, and I did all 4 of these first, then came back. I did all 4 even numbers, then or odd numbers, I'm sorry, and then came back and did my even numbers. So let's go ahead and stitch that out, okay? Peggy likes, yeah, Peggy likes the nesting too. I think it just is really gives it a very professional look. Okay, I'm gonna just wet my whistle here for a second. Now, do you guys, would you rather I leave the camera up like this while I'm stitching, or do you like it down like I usually do it? I kind of like to get an idea of what you guys like, okay? Here is our 6-inch spiral. Now, what we're going to do is remember the 6-inch spiral, we're not going to have to flip-flop it, okay? So we only need staple tape on one side. I'm going to get these little arrows off of here because we're for another project. I don't need those on here anymore. They just confuse me. Okay, it looks like everybody is saying leave it up. So that I will do, and that's a good thing because it actually makes it a lot easier for me. Okay, first thing we got to do. Does everybody remember what the first thing we do before we start stitching is? You just saw me do it. Setting our foot height. We have to set our foot height. Ooh, I also need to make my little, okay, there they are, and there they are. I need to make my little marks. 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches, and wow, 2.5 inches might not be just enough. So I'll go 2.25 inches on this side, and it's okay. We can do them any way we want because it's our project, right? There we go. And 1 3/4 inches from here. So there's 1 3/4, 1 3/4 here. And remember, guys, when we're doing this, it's all kind of represents nature. Nature's not perfect. Now, I could say something really nasty about men. Proof nature's not perfect. That was me. I love my husband. I don't really mean that. It's just it was too good of a joke. I couldn't help it. Okay. There we go. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to pull that bobbin thread up, put my foot down and my needle down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up so that when I come around here, my needle is going to fall on that mark. So I need to use my spacing gauge. And you can see I've got it right on that mark. And it doesn't look like I'm going anywhere, does it? But if you want, you could make it fatter. Let's do that this time. We're going to make it a little fatter by using our 4-inch arc, okay? So get out of there we go. I like giving you options, and this is an option. I don't have my foot down far enough. Remember, when we're doing things that have a curve to them, what we want to do is we want to take smaller stitches. And the reason that we like to do that is so that it appears to be smoother around. Because we can't stitch a round stitch, they are all straight. So we're giving it the illusion of being curved, those stitches being curved. And here we go. Now, the reason that I chose to do the 6-inch spiral instead of the 4-inch arc on everything is because it's going to, when we go to do the smaller petals, it's going to cross over the larger petals. But you know what? It's okay. It can, right? These are our own ideas, and these are our own designs. And we're gonna do them the way that makes us happy. Okay, and we're gonna come over this way. Look at I love this red. Isn't that cool? Oh, Helene, how are you? Yes, I did check my Bob and Jan. Oh, Maureen, good to see you. So good to see you. I hope you guys are all having a great 2025 already. I know mine has been good. Maybe a little boring at times without you guys here, and I really have missed you. I'm so glad that I'm doing 3 nights a week instead of 2. Uh, okay, up we're gonna go. And it looks like I'm going Nancy and I are going to be doing traveling more this year. So hopefully we're going to make it to your town and we'll get a chance to meet you guys in person and share a hug because that's the way we roll, old healthcare workers. Wait, I haven't seen Deb tonight. Oh no. Okay. Za I don't know how to pronounce your name, Quilt. This is not free motion. This is guided motion. And what we're doing is we're using Westerly templates and rulers to get there. These are so fun. You know, the nice thing about this, it's guided free motion, but we know exactly where we're going, right? And here is our fourth petal. Now you see how easy this is? I mean, really, this is not hard. It's going to look beautiful, just like the other ones do. Just a little bit different, and that's okay. Different is good. I've always been different. Terry, don't tell them how much different. Uh, I always worry when old friends come on here, they were going to start giving up my secrets or something. Of course, with Ken here on other nights, I have to worry even more. Oh, and look at how nice this is looking. I like the fatter petals better. I really do. And I am surprised that they are not crossing over each other. I would have expected that, but that's okay. It's fine. Because now the next thing we get to do is connect these motifs. We can break thread and go directly over to the next little flower here, okay? But you know what? I think I'm gonna just go ahead and put my connectors on there, get over there, and let them fall where they may. Okay, we've got only one more after this. You see that we've using now. Remember, when we put our template on our spacing gauge, we want to make sure that it's flush like this. We don't want it to be on an angle like this because then it does not measure the right distance. This is always going to give us a perfect 1/4 inch if we use the 1/4 inch gauge, and we're going to end up at our desired spot each time. Okay, so here we go. Off we are to our last petal. One more stitch. Look at how nice that looks. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Now, with these first set of designs that we're going to do, we are only using our starter sampler set, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stitch back out to where the petals meet, right there, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and use my connectors to get from here over to here. And let me pull those out. These are so much fun, you guys. They really are. Okay, so we've got two. These are our edge-to-edge connectors. I do have staple tape on both sides of them. And I'm going to go just like this. I'm going to use number C, and I'm going to get it really, really close here. Off we go. Beautiful curve. Remember to stitch a little smaller. Okay, so a lot of people go, oh, but you didn't get everywhere where you want to be. No, I didn't, but that's okay. Because what I can do is use this curve in a different manner, just switch it around, use my spacing gauge, and where I want to end up is right in the center. So now we're going to change directions a little bit and go off to the center. Now, what's really nice is when I change directions, it just smoothly changed the trajectory of that line, okay? It didn't give me a sharp corner. So we can use these to do that. Okay. So I guess I've got to break thread anyway because I didn't measure out from my center for my petals. And on this particular one, I marked out, okay, let me take a look here. I know I've got it 1 1/4 inch on the larger ones and 1 inch on the smaller ones. Okay. So remember, I have this off on an angle. It's not going to be straight up and down. So I'm going to go 1 1/4 inch on my odd numbered. There's 1 1/4. And then we're going to go 1 1/4 inch on our horizontal because we just did our vertical. Now on our diagonals, we're going to go 1 inch here and here and here and here. Okay. Boy, it almost looks like a square, doesn't it? But it won't. It won't when we're done. Now, it says I've used the 4-inch arc on this one. So this one I will obviously keep with the 4-inch arc. I'm going to go ahead and pull my bobbin thread up again. Janice, yes, I filled my bobbin thread before I started. She knows me too well, right? Okay, so I'm going to use my spacing gauge. Now, these are not good. These are going to be flatter. And the reason they're going to be flatter petals is because we're not going nearly as far as we did on the larger flower. If you want to keep this little fatter kind of motif going on, just go ahead and bring these out. Bring these little marks out a little way and they will be flatter. And you know what? It's okay because you can make these any size you want. It's your project, right? Um, there we go. It's going to come into the center again. And you'll see these are going to be quite a bit smaller. I'm going to go in this direction this time because we can. And we're going to come out to our 1 1/2 inch mark. And then we're going to come back in to our 1 1/2, or we're going to come back in 1 1/2 inches to our center. And let's go out here, straight across. Make sure that needle is down before you take it in and start flipping it around. I sometimes get too much of a hurry and I forget to make sure that that needle is down because this machine does nothing other than stitch. So I don't have all those fancy little things. Let me see where we're at is as far as, oh, Kendra, thank you. Yeah, this is fun. This is good stuff. Lori, welcome. Oh, I'm glad that you enjoy yourself. Robin is here. Yeah, only using the starter set for this whole set that I'm going to do. What's the learning curve? How long does it take for a beginner to get started? You know what, Quilts? That is a good question. I am starting my husband on ruler quilting now. It depends on your experiences, your past experiences. I found it very easy. And there are so many really good tutorials out there. You've got 906 Quilting has a lot. Um, Donnell Bradford Soba's Marion has a lot. So Steady has a ton of them out there. And, there's a whole community on Facebook and on YouTube, and everyone is so welcoming and so willing to help out. So don't be afraid of it, okay? Phyllis is here from Sierra Nevada. Hi, Phyllis. And Lori says, can you show the package of the connecting? Yes, I can. The connecting rulers. And this is the package, the edge to edge template set. Now, if you decide that you want to order these or the starter sampler set, when you go in and order them under the coupon code today only, okay? If you put deal date 20, you will get a 20% discount. Yep, 20% discount, which is really a nice discount. So this is our edge to edge template set. They are awesome. They really are. Okay, I've got to get stitching here, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to come up this way. And we're going to just put these last ones in. And I think yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but if we go over a little bit, I'm not going to be upset. So let's go ahead and put all these in. And there we go. Now we have met up with our connecting line right here. And this is going to be really skinny, guys. But it's going to be so cute. Really skinny. And but you definitely can tell it is a petal. Oh, that one. And I'm going to do one more here. We're just going to leave these for now. I can come back and finish those up later. Again, making sure. So this is another thing that I find can happen. We're so concentrating on our spacing gauge here that we forget to make sure that our template is touching the foot. Remember, we don't want to push the template against the foot. We don't want to push the foot against the template, but we want them to be touching, and that is perfect. Okay, so for these last ones, we did 1.5 and 1 inch, but I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I think I'm going to do 1 3/4 inch. I know I'm going to come out here, but that's okay. So I'm going to come 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. And the reason that I'm doing these different sizes is so that you can really get a good idea of what these will look like at different sizes. Okay. 1 3/4. I got a thread there. Here I'm going to do 1.5. Okay. And 1.5 here and here. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and break thread this time. We didn't last time. We put our connector in last time. This time, I'm going to break thread because I'm not sure where I want to end up with my connector on these two. I also want you to see how really easy it is to break thread and start over again. It's not a lot of work. And Janice knows I do it well when I forget my bobbin. Oh, oh, hi Tess. Good to see you. Good to see you. Marianne, that's a good question. I know it's for the templates that I am showing tonight as far as the discount. Is it for everything? I'm not really sure. I will find out. Okay. Now, Joyce, I'm glad you're going to try this, and that is a great thing to do on one that has ladybugs and flowers. This is going to look adorable. Peggy, Peggy says, you're turning the fabric a lot. How can we do that on a full quilt top? You can't. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you, Peggy. You can't. I have quilted large quilts, and I have done it on this little machine with a 7-inch throat. The reason that I'm turning it a lot is so that you can see what I'm doing. What we need to do as template quilters is, and I will do it on this flower, we need to to be able to stitch in all directions. Okay. Okay, the last one I drew 1 inch on the leg. Oh, you're absolutely right. Thank you for catching that, Linda. So I'm going to show you how I would do it without turning my fabric a lot. Okay. Um, oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Dee Dee asked if I could type in the discount code. It's whoops, gotta get my fingers. Deal day 20. There we go. Deal day 20, and that should work. And we're going to come out here another half an inch or so. Okay. So to do that, what I would do is I would come, where's my spacing gauge? There is a reason that I have more than one because I'm losing it all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you over so you can see this better. Okay. Here's my mark. Here's my mark. I'm going to go ahead and put my foot here. I'm using my spacing gauge. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch backwards. And this is exactly how I do a large quilt. Okay? It's no different. And you don't have to worry about what's going on out here. Okay? You got their whole quilt crinkled up out here. It's good. It's good. Because the only part you have to worry about is this little piece that you're stitching in right now. I know that's a concept that is so foreign to many of us, but it does work. So now I'm going to come back to my center. I'm going to come out this way next. Remember, when we're doing these, we like to go opposite. And the reason that we do that is because every stitch we take draws that fabric in just a little bit. And if we do our stitching opposite sides, it will draw that fabric in more evenly. Ooh, I'm going the wrong way, guys. There we go. This is the way I want to go. And there I got my 1/4 inch. And right there. Now remember, I'm not going to move the fabric this time. And I'm saying that to more remind myself than you guys, okay? There we go. Make sure that needle is down before you start moving the fabric around, or the template, or anything else. And there we come back to our center. And now we're gonna come, can you see? There we go. Oh, we'll go ahead and, where'd you go, Peggy? Oh, all the way up there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Not a problem. Thought that looked a bit wonky. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably use a 2-inch circle to make a flatter petal. Absolutely could use the 2-inch circle to make a flatter petal. Yeah, definitely. The larger the arc, the flatter that petal is going to be. Okay, there we go. And one more. I'm only going to make this a 4-petal flower because I want to show you how to do another connection. To me, that's really important. And there we are, back in the beginning. Okay, so now I went and turned my fabric. Okay, but let's not turn it. Now I want to get from this point back. You're not going to be able to see that. Where I want to get is from where I'm at or from this flower back to this flower. So what I'm going to do, and is this the one I want? No, where's the other one? Here it is. I want to put a loop in it. And what we can do is we have this right here. Stop, flip, and rotate. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us this really cute little curlicue there. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put it in here. And I want you to see, I'm going to come back up here and stop in that hook. Get this one out of the way or it's going to end up on the floor. Okay. Stop, flip, and rotate. Um, yeah, let me get my little spacing gauge here because I want to make sure you're not going to be able to see that. So I'm going to move you again, okay? Okay. Well, let's go over this here. I want to show you in one. I came up, stitched into the hook. And there I stopped. Now I'm going to take this out. I'm going to flip it. Okay. And you want to rotate it. And what that's going to do is that's going to make that little bobble in there. And it's going to bring us right to where we want to be. Okay, so here we go. And right there. And there is our little bobble. Okay. Now, if I had come closer, let's do it because I want you to see how different it can look. Okay. Not that it's wrong this way, it's not. I just want you to see using the same template and just changing the angle. Okay, so here's where we ended up. I'm going to pull that bobbin thread up. I'm going to stop. Put my needle back down. I'm going to stop, slip, and rotate. And this is going to bring us in a totally different, whoops, I didn't flip. Flip and rotate. There we go. And rotate. So this is going to give us a much larger little loop. And we're going to go in a totally different direction with it. So now I'm going to bring it back down. I have to remember which one I'm working on. Okay, there we go. And my foot just came loose. I'm sorry, guys. I hate it when that happens. But anyway, this is what I wanted you to see, how this loop can get a little larger and much smoother, okay? This is kind of pushing that just a little bit to its limits, but I wanted you to see that it's easily done that way. So, without all the extra lines, what we've done is we have gone ahead and done our version of the embroidery with the sampler starter set and the edge to edge template set. So let's see what kind of questions we've got. This is a good class on use. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah, Joyce says I do like the flat petals better than the thin ones, and so do I, Joyce, because it makes me look skinnier, right? Oh no, Dee Dee, her buddy kicked her out. Don't forget you can always watch the recording after. Donna, hi, good to see you. You'll need to go ahead and watch the recording, Donna. Okay, my voice is going to give out before very long here. Joyce, yeah, I really think this is a cute way of using our templates in an edge to edge design. Um, Taking it to a long armor is nice. There's no doubt about it. It is. But a lot of us, me included, I don't have a whole lot of money to spend at the long armors. And quite honestly, I really kind of like finishing my projects myself because I can put little goofy things into a project that nobody would really know. Um, One of the things that everybody tells us all the time, sign your quilts, put a quilt label on. Well, you know what? I'm really bad at that. But what I can do is if I'm doing some free motion or ruler work, I can somewhere in here send a message to the recipient. And if you can write your name, you can send a message just like that. There we go. So, finishing your own quilts is a good way to do it. Okay. Oh, thank you, Peggy. Yeah, definitely versatile, baby. They definitely are very versatile. And, they're always coming up with surprises for us too. Oh, Evelyn, hi, I didn't see you. Oh, Evelyn adds a little heart somewhere on her quilt. Isn't that awesome? I think that's great. Peggy, you are quite welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, Linda, my friend. Oh, my speed is wonderful. Actually, I'm a slow stitcher, Marianne, and I like it that way. Oh, someone said if you don't do the quilting, you're a piece or not a quilter. You know what, Joyce? I've heard that too. I think you're still a quilter, though. Linda, you are so welcome. Kelly, oh, Kathy, thank you. Regina, my friend, it is always so good to see you here. So that is what I've got, and that is what Monday nights are going to be like around here. We're going to be taking each of those designs and putting them into ruler work. Hopefully, they won't end up being quite this yucky when I get it together. But I like to show you different ways of being able to do things too. Oh, thank you, Rita. I really appreciate that. So if we don't have any more questions, we will see you tomorrow night. We are doing angel wings, and I've got some different things to do with the angel wings. And when that's tomorrow at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific, and midnight in the UK, and 3 p.m. in Australia. I'm getting better. Oh, Quilt, I am so glad you're going to join us. We look forward to seeing you again. And Wednesday morning, grab your coffee, 8 a.m. No, 6 p.m. tomorrow for Angel Wings. 4 for Pacific time. Yeah. And then 8 a.m. on Wednesday, we're going to do yin and yang. That is part of a series, a stepping out series. So we're going to have lots of fun. I look forward to it. I'm so happy to be back. I don't have to be bored anymore. I love spending time with you guys. So if there's no more questions, let's quilt.